CBSE Board, Class 11, History, Chapter 2, Part 23, Audio by Renee Matthew. There are 4 reasons on why the hostility between Muslims and Christians were pronounced. It became predominant day by day. It started increasing. That is because Normans, Hungarians and some slaves got converted, and there was a lot of change as a result of it on the social and economic organization, which widened the enmity between the Christendom and the Islamic world. What about the clergy and the warrior class? They were making a lot of efforts to ensure political stability as well as economic growth based on agriculture and trade. This was the kind of occupation that people actually longed for. They knew only to do agriculture and trade. So the clergy and the warrior class they were working towards establishing stability on the economic growth. Now the possibilities of military confrontation between the competing feudal principalities, there was a lot of military problems going on, and also the feudal principalities where the ideology was there, and a return to the economic organization based on plunder were contained by the Peace of God movement. Did you understand that? So possibilities for military upheaval, military conflict was more, and also there was a competition between the feudal principalities, that is, hierarchy was there, social rank was there. So military confrontation and also military rival was possible, and also the return to the economic organization was possible, and that was contained only by the Peace of God movement. People were plundering all over. It was very difficult to have a military confrontation with these people. And all military violence was forbidden inside. No kind of military violence was encouraged. Okay, confrontation was happening, but still it was not encouraged, and they were not able to come back to the normal economic organization also. There were a few areas near places of worship during certain periods which were considered sacred in the church calendar. Some areas and some places of worship. And against certain vulnerable social groups, like some groups were there which was prone to a lot of problems, such as churchmen and the common people. So some people were fighting, especially the churchmen and the common people. More revolts were there, and some places were considered as sacred in the church calendar. The Peace of God. We talked about the Peace of God. What is this Peace of God movement? This particular movement deflected or did not encourage the aggression, the aggressive and repressive tendencies of feudal society. And they were not encouraging a life away from Christian world. And they were always working against the enemies of God. That is the definition of Peace of God. It was building a kind of climate and atmosphere in which the non-believers, they were known as infidels, became not only permissible but also commendable. So they said that if there were a lot of non-believers in the empire, they were prone to conflict, and they will be commended. They will be commendable. Okay. So disintegration took place as a result of this. And of course, death of Malik Shah in 1092. That is the Seljuk Sultan of Baghdad. So after the nephew of the 2 brothers, Malik Shah, took over, that we can understand from this line. He was a Seljuk Sultan of Baghdad. He was followed by the disintegration of his empire. So Malik Shah was the last ruler. Okay. So this offered the Byzantine Emperor Alexius I to regain Asia Minor. You should remember that Byzantine Empire, the Turkish Empire, all these people, they were subjugated, especially Byzantine and the Sasanian Empire. Do you remember that? The Iranians, they were kind of repressed by the Islamic world. When Muslims were growing in number, these 2 empires went down. So it was a chance for the emperor Alexius I to regain Asia Minor and northern Syria again. For Pope Urban II, it was an opportunity for the Pope also to revive the spirit of Christianity. Again, Christianity came into being. In 1005, Pope also joined Byzantine Emperor in calling for a war. Both of them joined together. Alexius I and Pope Urban II joined hands to call for a war in the name of God to liberate the Holy Land. So you should remember that the Muslims and Christians were fighting over the Holy Land, and the Pope actually wanted to fight with them in the name of God so that it can be liberated and brought under the custody of the Christians. So between 1095 and 1291, European Christians planned and fought wars against Muslim cities, especially on the coastal plains of the Eastern Mediterranean. Very important point. Western European Christians, not just Christians, but Western European Christians, they fought against Muslim cities, especially on the coastal plains of Eastern Mediterranean, which was the place called Levant. And these wars were known as the Crusades later. The first crusade came into being between 1095 and 1291. And that is how the disintegration took place. What about the first crusade? Very important war in the name of God, especially in the history of the world, which took place between 1098 and 99. Soldiers from France and Italy captured Antioch in Syria and claimed Jerusalem. This is the first time that France and Italy and all these allies were participating. Look at the Crusades and how they dressed. So soldiers from France and Italy captured Antioch. They were waiting to come and pounce the Christians in Syria, and they claimed Jerusalem. Now this particular victory was accompanied by the slaughter of Muslims and Jews. They were not at all encouraged. You should remember that the Jews were also part of the Meccan tribe, and they were also encouraged by the Muslims. They were going in harmony. Now they were slaughtered by the Christians in the city, and that is chronicled by both the Christians and the Muslims that they were slaughtered, which means that both the Christian and Muslim documents give a clear evidence of the slaughter. There were a lot of Muslim writers which were referred, especially on the arrival of the Christians, and they were known as Infringi or Firangi, as a Frankish invasion. So a lot of Christians came into being, and this was a Frankish invasion, and many writers write about this Frankish invasion, which were known as Infringi or Firangi. The Franks started quickly establishing 4 crusader states. Okay, 4 crusaders immediately after annexing this particular place, after the Frankish invasion and after their victory, they started establishing the 4 crusader states in the region of Syria, Palestine. Very happy to actually annex Jerusalem. After that, they established the 4 crusader states. And these territories were known as, that is after, which followed the crusades, these particular territories were known as Out-Rema, that is the land overseas. Collectively, these territories were known as Out-Rema, the Frankish invasion, and later, the crusades were directed at its defense and expansion. So later, after the crusades, people just wanted to expand and defend their own land. What was the land? The Out-Rema. It was a result of the Frankish invasion. It was a result of the crusaders, especially the kind of conflict between the Christians and the Muslims. Now what about the Out-Rema? The Out-Rema actually survived well for some time, but when the Turks captured Edessa, so the Turks captured Edessa in 1144, an appeal was made by the Pope for a second crusade. So when the Turks invaded, there was a bit confusion. The Pope wanted a second crusade, that is between 1145 to 49. Okay, so because of this invasion by the Turks. So what happened during this particular time? There was a combination of the German and French army who made an attempt to capture Damascus, which was the capital. But they were defeated and forced to return home. Go back. They told the Germans and the French army to go back and no more conquering further. And after this, there was a lot of erosion which took place in the strength of Out-Rema. They were not able to prolong further. People were not able to defend the Out-Rema regions. And the zeal of the crusaders gave way to living in luxury and to battles over territory among the Christian rulers. So as usual, they were prone to luxurious life, and they wanted to conquer the territories and just live like that, proclaiming their was to be in the name of God, but that was not their intention. They were living a very bad and luxurious life. Okay, so because of that, they were not able to prolong. And a person, Saladin, was created. It created an Egypto-Syrian empire. He was a person who created the Egypto-Syrian empire and gave the call for jihad or holy war against the Christians. So this particular person took all the courage to establish one particular empire known as the Egypto-Syrian empire, because these places were annexed by the Christians, and he gave the call for a holy war or a jihad against the Christians and defeated them in 1187. And he was able to regain back Jerusalem nearly a century after the first crusade. So just for a century, it was under the Christians, and after that, it was regained back. Now, records of the time indicate that Saladin's treatment of the Christian population was humane. Okay, he actually treated the Christian population with much humanity. He did not treat like how the Christians treated Muslims and Jews. He did not reciprocate the same treatment. He was more gentle with the Christian population, and that was a real contrast to the way the Muslims and Jews were treated by the Christians. So that is specifically mentioned in the records which came over the history, how this particular person, he showed humanity to the people. And that is something that we have to learn over the years from these emperors. Because so many innocent people will be suffering in a war, civilians will be affected, and they don't have any connection with what is happening in the political side of a particular place. But many civilians will be affected and they will be killed. So this particular emperor was very careful in that manner, and he was careful not to actually hurt the Christians. You also have to take a look at the Outremer portions, the places which were under the Christians during this particular century after the first crusade, because that will give you a clear outlook of how many territories and how many places were annexed by the Christians and how they prolonged with it.